Congratulations on this marvelous series found. Wanted to discuss with you guys about this second season because this show, these characters that you two play have such humanity to them. They're not just the bad guy and the hero. They're humans and they're flawed and different types of evil, of course, but they're real and that makes them human and that makes the show so relatable. How was it for you guys to create the mindset of these two people?
Well, the creation came from the writers truly, and what we do is serve and bring to life what's on the page. So it has been so great to play a character that is a quote unquote hero on network television on NBC and not have her make all the right choices because that's what makes us human. And to not justify the behavior, but allow an understanding of how she got there and how she came to that choice, which we get to explore in season two. So it's been just amazing for me to play Gabby Mosley.
It's interesting. I thought I was actually playing the hero of this show, but we all can look from a different lens. But
Right, sure. You played the hero in my life, love.
oh, look at that, Mauricio.
I don't
That I
mean
wanted
that.
to discuss with you both the chemistry between you two, because even though Mark, you did something terrible, and you are trying to take revenge on that many years later, and you have this game of cat and mouse that's intense, that's super rough. Uh, you guys have this chemistry that it's undeniable, and it's like the mind games between you two. Has that been like growing since season one through all that we've seen on season two and now?
I mean, I could have chemistry with a beanpole, you know what I mean? So that's not hard for me. It's like looking at a tree and just creating chemistry. No, truly,
I've
it.
played both those. I've played a beanpole and a tree in my career, so I feel like you're talking about me.
You know what's so great? What's crazy about chemistry is you cannot plan it. You can even do they do this thing in our world where it's called chemistry reads to see if there's chemistry between these two actors to go on screen, and then they get there to shoot and you're like, well, that's not what I saw. So you can't plan it. It is very organic, and such is the case. I appreciate who Mark Paul is as a human being, truly to the depths of his soul. I think he is probably one of the best, most genuine, unique individuals that I've ever met. And then he is a generous partner in scenes. So that chemistry was very, very easy for us from the beginning. This season, you don't see us in the room as much together, but the moments that you see us, it's electric and it's great.
It
Mauricio,
is. It
I
is.
have a question for you. What is a beanpole?
I don't know. I thought about that after I said it.
Actually, I have no clue, but
Okay.
I see it as something like, I don't know, like a post, like an electricity thing at the streets. That's what I envisioned.
Okay, because
True.
Not
I
sure.
have a garden and I grow beans,
You
but I've
don't have
never
a
had a
role.
bean pole.
Well, it goes
Um,
around the pole. It's fine. You don't know it.
okay,
I have
I
it. I'll
just
show
Hey,
you a picture.
Jack and the
that's
bean
so
pole.
interesting. Trust me, guys. I'll try to find this out as soon as
Thank you,
this interview is
thank
over,
you. Please get back to us with that, Mauricio.
and I'll let you know. Mark Paul, we've all seen you in so many different roles, but we all love you from one in particular. So when people bring Zack Morris to you after all these years, how do you feel about that? And how do you feel to be such an iconic figure of TV throughout the world? Because I grew up in Venezuela and I was a huge fan of Saved by the Bell back then.
No, I think it's great. I mean, it was never expected. We did 4 seasons of the show, and every season we were canceled and surprised that we were back for another season. And then, but what sort of made the show live on up to this day is syndication. Once we were syndicated, approximately 3 or 4 years after we wrapped, is how it reached out to generation after generation. So it's just been a lovely surprise, and it was a great experience in my life.
That's awesome. And if you had to describe Sir, how did you take on this intense guy and this crazy person, this crazy character? Uh, how would you describe him?
Well, he's a highly intellectual person. I think there
Super smart.
once was something very good about him, but circumstances in his life uh, sort of pushed him into a different direction. He probably had the opportunity to go another way, but for some reason, and I think we'll find out hopefully in the next several seasons. You know, fingers crossed that we get that opportunity. But we'll find out why and how he made those decisions to lead us up to the point that we're at now.
And what I love about Gabby and that I find so genuine about her is that, especially in this season, she's like in the edge of people knowing what she's up to, of people knowing what she did. There's that energy of I'm so scared I'm gonna get discovered and they're gonna know that's what's happening with me and this guy. How was it for you? Because I find that super honest. I mean, she's no hero in
Yeah.
herself, but she's trying to make justice in her own hands, and that's not exactly the best thing to do.
Yeah, I mean, Gabby went from there being a big secret in season one to the secret being exposed, and those who revered her as this do no wrong, put on a pedestal, that pedestal came crashing down. So to play the different dynamics of what those relationship means was tough. Also, she will do anything to find the missing people. Trent has a different moral compass than Gabby. Gabby makes it clear that I will do anything to bring these people home, and that sometimes means making questionable decisions. So you have this character who has made questionable personal decisions and she makes questionable business decisions. So it's really fun to play the dynamic and see, but also you see her wanting to take responsibility this season and saying that what I did was not justifiable and I want penance.
And guys, do you see that roles and characters these days are more flawed, more human than what we saw like I don't know 20 years ago on TV? Because I see it as a trait of honesty on stories that are being told and on television and on movies. How do you perceive that as working actors?
I think it's better because it lifts the veil. It makes people feel a lot less crazy. If you're watching television and you can see somebody that is more reflection of you, or you like, I'm not so bad. Look at this guy. He was stalking kids and waiting outside there. So I think it does a service to us as a community to sort of either relate or be like, it's not so bad.
I don't know. I look back, and from my experience, some of the greatest characters in television history, especially on network television, you know, before streaming, were always flawed. I mean, Dennis Franz on NYPD Blue, Dennis
100%.
Leary on his shows, Hugh Laurie on House. I mean, you've had some really flawed characters. I mean, Marisa, when I said Hugh Laurie, it's like, oh my gosh, we're trusting this doctor who's deeply flawed. But I think all great television shows that you can still uh, just admire someone that is deeply flawed. Now, when you go to Sir, and what I find interesting with our show is that people will want to see Gabrielle and Sir together. That's a whole nother level of like I don't understand that. And but I think we're all for it. I know that Cyril and I have had these discussions, and if people are discussing our show, we're doing something right, and I hope that we can continue doing it.
Janola, Mark Paul, thank you so much. Such an honor
Thank
to talk to
you.
you and love the show.
Thank
Congratulations.
you. Thank you so
Thank you,
much. It's
Mauricio.
such an honor. Thank you very much.